Good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. It's actually Mike behind the mic. Actually, it's Mike behind two mics. People say, why do you have two mics there in the studio with you? Well, one is my social media microphone, this one right here, and the other one is my official broadcast microphone that will send the signal eventually to 33 stations across the state, plus the podcast version all comes through this microphone. This microphone right here is my behind the mic mic. Okay. So how are you this morning? Boy, it's a cold morning, isn't it? Chilly. Some people are actually saying the three-letter word that kind of sounds like rice or nice or lice. Ice. I don't know. Been a long time since we had an ice fishing season, but it is going to be cold here the next few days. Cliff Buddy, good morning. How are you? Always nice to have you with us. Craig is in the blind, so we have to be quiet while Craig is in the blind. Good luck to you, Craig. Captain Jim, good morning. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving to you, buddy. Mad Jack, good morning. Always a pleasure to have you along with us. I do this behind the mic segment every Wednesday morning at 8:45 here from the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. I will also be back tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Tonight, Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats will join me as we talk about ham for the holidays. A couple of things. There's some new flavors for Michigan Brand. I got two of them here in the studio. There is Korean barbecue pork, hot honey peach, honey jalapeno. My daughter-in-law calls it jalapeno, so I keep calling it jalapeno. And teriyaki pineapple. This one is the teriyaki pineapple. This one is the honey jalapeno. And of course, they threw in some of the peppercorn because I love it so much. I also have something else from Michigan Brand. Arthur, why don't you walk in here? Art Lewis of WSGW. Art, I got my Michigan Bear back from Michigan Brand, and I'd like to officially present you with some bear cheddar brats.
Oh, wow.
Those were made up by Michigan Brand. They are all pre-cooked, so when you warm them up, you're just warming them up.
Just warm them up.
Yeah, but they're outstanding on the grill. You can put them in the oven. You can put them on the stove, but they are outstanding.
Wow. There they are, folks. Look at that.
Let me know what you think of them after you have them.
I will. And also, I heard you say you have Chris on the show from Rapid River.
Chris, yeah, Rapid River.
Thank him for making my knife, of course.
the official sponsor of Outdoor Magazine Radio. Right. Yeah, he makes a great product.
Yeah, he does. He's a great guy, great employees. It's a wonderful place. If you've never visited Rapid River, stop up and visit them in the Upper Peninsula. It's worth the trip.
Rapid River Knifeworks.com, Avery 10.
Avery 10.
I think we got it all in there.
All right.
Enjoy those.
I will.
And let me know what you think of those different new flavors of the Michigan Brand products too.
Do it.
All right, my friends. Eli, good morning, buddy. How are you? The water level's way low. Absolutely are. Bruce, good morning. Nice to have you along with us. Steve, always a pleasure. How are you? I'm talking to you from the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. And of course, I'm glad to be here in the studio. I'll tell you who's coming up on this week's show here in just a couple of minutes. First of all, let me ask you, are you done deer hunting, or will your season continue now after the 30th, which is the end of the traditional firearm season? Hey, Jim, good morning. How are you? Steve says he's doing good. I appreciate that. It seems like our firearm season, doesn't seem like our firearm season here in Michigan will continue on for quite a while. The muzzleloader season has basically become a firearm season. Then there's the late doe season. I mean, I did not shoot a buck this year. I actually didn't even see a buck this year. I don't know if I will get a shot at a buck this year. If I get a chance at another doe, will I take it? Probably. But the freezer is kind of full right now, and, I don't know. Hey, Tim, good morning. How are things over on YouTube? And why are you on YouTube? Are you not able to watch the show on Facebook? Scott, good morning. How are you? Scott says, I heard the perch are hitting. Talking about Saginaw Bay? Scott, I'm assuming. Heard an interesting thing the other day that Bob Hines, who normally targets giant jumbos, that's a redundant term, giant jumbos, jumbo perch in Traverse Bay. I don't know if he's in Grand Traverse or the little side of the bay. He said his perch numbers are way down since the tribes put the gill nets in. In fact, I'm thinking about trying to get him on the radio show next week to talk more about that. Dave, good morning. How are you? Dominic, Dom. Oh, that's nice of you to say. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family as well. John, good morning. Tim says he still can't comment from his phone on Facebook. Cliff says his cameras are still showing a lot of deer and a few dandy bucks still around. Cliff, are those bucks showing up in the daytime at all? I haven't seen a big buck on our trail cameras in several days now. And I think the last one I did see was at night. They've definitely, the pressure from gun season has definitely gone, made them go nocturnal. No doubt about it. Good morning, Paul. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Hey, Jay. Oh, I'm planning on a couple of days muzzle loading. Had cataract surgery, so limited was successful with the rifle 8-point. You had cataract surgery. How did that go, Jay? When I had mine, I had one eye set for far away and one eye set for close, and it actually worked out pretty well for me. Until, of course, something happened where my vision was all screwed up. Now it's pretty darn good. I'm back. Jeremy, okay, a long comment, but I want to read this, even though it covers my pretty face. I spoke to Chad Stewart. He said the NRC acted on their own, changing the Zone 2 muzzleloader regulations, even though no numbers they were given proved that changing the season to an extended firearm season didn't affect the number of deer harvested. So I guess the Deer Management Initiative falls on deaf ears when it comes to the NRC. I've spoken to Chad on several different occasions. I don't think he's trying. Interesting comment, Jeremy. That DMI, the Deer Management Initiative, I think was just an effort to placate Michigan deer hunters. And I don't think the intent was ever to really listen to what the DMI had to say. If I remember correctly, it was the NRC that went to the DNR, a lot of initials here. The NRC, the Natural Resources Commission in Michigan, went to the DNR, the Department of Natural Resources, and says, we would like some kind of a group, an overseeing group, and we'd like to hear what they have to say. That group was then called the Deer Management Initiative. The DMI, Deer Management Initiative, came up with several suggestions, pages and pages of suggestions. And I don't know if any of them, maybe just a couple of minor ones, but nothing substantial or substantive that was proposed by the DMIs was ever acted on. The NRC is, and what did I just read? One of the longtime NRC members he says he wants to take a break now. I honestly wouldn't know a member of the NRC if they came up and shook my hand. I don't know them as individuals. I'm sure as individuals, they are fine people, but as a group, I don't have a lot of respect for them. I think many of the things they've done have fallen far short of what we as Michigan hunters and anglers could and should expect from our wildlife managers. John Kirby, buddy, good morning. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving to you. Cliff says, yes, a few day sightings, more nighttime though. Lori, good morning. How are you? And Greta, good morning. How are you? Okay, here's the deal, John. I found this out. Okay. There are 4 new flavors. I've only got 2 of them in here. Korean barbecue pork is a new flavor. Hot honey peach is a new flavor. Honey jalapeno is a new flavor, and teriyaki pineapple, which I have the last 2 in here.
I like the teriyaki pineapple best.
John likes the teriyaki pineapple. I will bring in the other 2 flavors, new flavors, next week for your palate's approval. I also brought John in some bear brats as well.
Well, that's good.
I heard that. Nick Grillo said, they're not too hot until you walk away from them, and then you get the kick afterwards. Yep. John just verified that. And Nick Grillo, by the way, will be on Wednesday Night Live with me tonight to pick a winner for the ham for the holidays. Tom, still getting daytime buck activity in the thumb. Excellent. Tim says, we had a few bucks in the pasture during the day up here. Excellent. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Kevin. I'm already looking, Ingrid, sorry. Kevin, I'm already looking forward to next year's Mike Avery Outdoors Charity Golf Outing at the West Branch Country Club, which is Friday, July 25th. Looking forward to it. Steve, good morning. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving to you. Johnny Bowler. Johnny. I just got my order back from Michigan Brand of the bear that I shot with you. Now, obviously, that order has been ready for a while. I just couldn't get over there for a couple of big reasons. So, Johnny, I brought 3 packages of the cheddar bear brats in here. I gave one package to Art Lewis. I gave one package to Jonathan Dent. I gave the other package to Charlie Root. And that's from the bear that I shot while hunting with you, Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. Ingrida, I'm going to tell you right now, I appreciate you being along with us, but we're not going to use this page as a way to try to spam people and get people to follow you back. So I'm going to have to say goodbye. Okay, she has now been blocked. Uncle Johnny, how you doing, buddy? I look forward to seeing you and Aunt Debbie tomorrow for Thanksgiving. George, happy Thanksgiving to you. Hello, Ed Bolanowski. How are you? See, Ingrida, I thought I just got rid of you. And I don't mean to put it in those terms. Block user. User was blocked. I don't know why I still see her. Why is that? Jay. Oh, Jay, that's what he's having done. The first eye is complete. Second eye will be done on December 9th. It's worked out very well for me, Jay. Very well. The eye doc at first was reluctant to do it. And then because my one eye was so bad, he's like, you've been looking at things that way for a long time. And it's really, it's worked out well for me. I don't even use glasses anymore. Even for reading, I don't use glasses. So good luck to you, Jay. Jeremy. Okay, I've already seen that. Deb. Where'd Deb go? Where'd Deb go? Deb. Good morning, Gramps. She says, Deb is my cousin. Good morning, Grandma. Martin, good morning. How are you? I'm trying to get rid of Ingrida. It says I'm blocking her. User was blocked. Michael, good morning. Rick, good morning. DMI was just a way to make us feel like we made a difference. I agree with you, Tim Benz. Ross, DMI proposal was to make muzzleloading season just muzzleloading. NRC did the opposite of zones 2. Exactly. Well, I should be able to get rid of her, though. I've banned her 3 times, but she doesn't go away. Good morning, Joe Marion. How you doing, buddy? I'm glad, Joe says, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here, too. Yeah, and I was out hunting, and I enjoyed it, and I had a lot of fun. Who made the bear brats, Kevin says? Michigan Brand Meats did it. I took that bear to some Amish friends of mine, these Stutzmans, 5-star processing on Brand Road up between Coleman and Clare. And they broke it down, and then they shipped it over to Michigan Brand, and Michigan Brand actually did the processing of making it into brats. Now, I did have a lot of burger made up as well, but they did both. Mark, good morning. How are you? I am doing very well, Richard. Appreciate you saying that, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Pastor Joe Llewellyn, how you doing, my friend? How was your hunting season? Is it still in? You're still out there, aren't you? I know that you're, I know you're not done yet. What did I got? Paint there? Oh, no, that's just, I did some painting around the house. You can tell what color I was painting, can't you? Can you tell what color I was painting there? Johnny says it's going to taste so much better than those bad Canadian bears. Paul, good morning, Mike. Glad to see your rifle hunted. Did you see anything? I didn't see a thing. I didn't see one doe. I didn't see one buck. Didn't see a thing. But I was out there. And honestly, this season, that's all that really mattered. I had a big doe in the freezer from bow season. I will get back out. I went into this season not expecting to see a buck that I wanted to shoot, and I didn't and haven't yet and probably won't. Will I shoot another doe if I get a chance? I don't know. I really want to see what that 350 will do on a whitetail, but I don't know if I really need another deer. I could always shoot her and donate her, which I might do. Bye, Felicia or Phila, whatever her name was. Yeah, you're welcome, guys. Steve, happy Thanksgiving to you. Jim, good morning. Looks like I'll be able to fish tonight. I was thinking about you on the way in today, Jim. I was thinking about these colder temps, the water temps. It would be a good time to get out there and do some casting, which I still need to do. Brad, good morning. Nick Grillo, the guy who gave us these for the studio. These are two. Well, this is peppercorn. This is my favorite, right? That's my go-to. That's the one. That's my jam. One of the new flavors, honey jalapeno. One of the new flavors, teriyaki pineapple. The other two flavors that I don't have in here, but I will next week, Korean barbecue and hot honey peach. MichiganBrand.net, MichiganBrand.net. Nick Grillo will join me tonight on Wednesday Night Live to draw the winner of this week's Ham for the Holidays contest. Ham for the Holidays is something we do every Wednesday night from basically Halloween through the first of the year. Thank you, Nick Grillo. You're a good guy. Good friend of mine. Paul Eisen, good morning. Paul, did you see Paul? First of all, congrats on your first racked buck. I did post that picture, and you're back out there again where you say it's a balmy 20 degrees. Jerry's here a little late, but you're here. George, Jetson, George. Good morning, buddy. Nice to be seen. Amy, I appreciate that. And listen, Amy, I will take all the prayers you can give me. I'll never turn down prayers. But honestly, I'm good. I'm good. I've been to the physical therapist. I've been to the neurologist. The only thing I have to do now is to go to the cardiologist to see if that's what caused my problem. But I'm like 99%. Kelly Dent. I know you and I know your son. He was just in here. He just left. Here's a secret. I sent him out the door with some bear brats. He has bear brats. Don't let him hoard them. And I am making great progress, Kelly. I appreciate that. John Kirby says, it's not over. You're right. It's not over. Ballfish, you have to break it in. Donate a doe. Well, I've already broken that gun in. My grandson Carter shot a doe with it, and I shot a bear with it. Tommy, good morning, buddy. How are you? Johnny says we have 4 to 5 inches of snow. Are you saying you do or if you do? Clarify for me, please, Johnny. Do they have snow in the UP? They do. Okay. So Johnny says we have 4 to 5 inches of snow on the ground right now. The deer will be in trouble. Where does the snow start? In the northern lower or Yup? Yup. Okay. Cross the bridge. Okay. Well, Johnny, you should be sitting in the plow right now, buddy. I am on the mend, Seth. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Louie. Randy's back from deer camp. Kevin says, I'm right there with you. I bought a new 6.5 Creedmoor. Would love to try it, but don't need another deer. Yeah, it's because you shot them all with a bow, Kevin. Every buck is cool, Paul. Jim, shoulder is a hit and miss. I might resort to float fishing bait. Casting for hours isn't so good anymore. Gotcha. Kelly says that's good to know. Oh, let me tell you who's coming up on the show here because I gotta start the show here in just a minute. My first guest this week is Chris Durson of the company that makes this knife right here, my Rapid River knife. This one is mine. There are others similar to it, but this is the only one that is mine, and you can't have it because it's mine. Chris Durson joins me to remind us that a Rapid River knife is an excellent Christmas present, and now is the time to order those. Brent Pike from the Michigan Wildlife Council wraps up the opening hour of this week's show. In hour number 2, Daryl Godden. He is a wolf guide in White River, Ontario, Canada. Do you want to go wolf hunting? You can. Get in touch with Daryl. We'll talk about that. Then Steve Wyndham from MUCC plus this week's Ask Avery question. I'm debating what question to answer this week, but it's going to be, this one will be a personal question. I've got a couple of them, like, what was your favorite hunt? What was your best fishing trip? Most interesting person you've met? I'm going to answer something like that in the Ask Avery segment. And then in hour number 3, one of the most interesting guys I've ever talked to and met, Richard P. Smith. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. Charlie?
Dinner and a half.
Okay.
Oh my God.
2 new flavors. Teriyaki pineapple. Oh, no, this wasn't it. This is peppercorn. That's my go-to. And then honey jalapeno. Okay. You try those and let me know which ones you like. There are 2 additional flavors I found out. I just don't have them with me. Korean barbecue and hot honey peach.
I need a glass of water before I do this.
1 minute. Tim, I'm feeling great. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. God blessed me and it wasn't my time. And here's the thing that I keep bouncing around in my head. Why did he spare me? What am I supposed to do? There's a reason I'm here. What is it? Honestly, I've been trying to figure that one out. George says there's snow in Indian River. Mike, good morning. How are you? George loves his Rapid River knife. Okay, when you buy, can you use your restricted? Okay, I have a question. When you buy a deer combo, can you use your restricted license first, or do you have to use your regular? You can use them in either order. And in the Lower Peninsula, you can actually use your combo license for a doe.
10 seconds.
Thank you, Johnny. Mad Jack says,
Go. In 5,
hey,
4,
Ed, how are you?
3, 2, 1. Last stop.
Oh, that means it's time for me to go to work. And those of you who are truly working this morning, look at me and go, Avery, you call that work? I know. I'm not going to bust a sweat, although a couple of weeks ago in here I did. Which one? Which one?
Peppercorn.
Peppercorn. Well, that's not a new flavor.
Not?
No. Nick just gave those to me because he knows I love them.
Recall this.
No, that's a good one. Peppercorn is that's my jam.
You can see the pepper on it.
All right, my friends, have a good day. I will be back here tonight at 7:00 for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across the great state of Michigan. And so glad to have you along with us. Charlie, can you bump that headphone volume up just a little bit there, please? So glad to have you along with us. We'll call her good, Charlie. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So glad to have you along with us as we basically jump into the month of December. Now, depending on when you are listening to the show, it might still be technically November, but it's basically December. As you're hearing this show, Thanksgiving is behind us, which means Christmas is in front of us. And Christmas is like this season now. Once you get past, Halloween, it's like this big giant vacuum at the end of the year, sucking us ever more increasingly faster to the end of the year, but only if you let it, right? So just take a breath, enjoy the seasons, enjoy your time with family and friends. Don't let things get out of control. Let's see. What can we talk about? The weather. Boy, the weather has changed. It's cold and there is snow, at least as I am here in the studio. There is snow, several inches, in fact, in the UP. Might still be there by the time you hear this radio show. Might even be, dare I say, ice. I saw a post the other day from a friend of mine who was a hardcore ice fisherman. He says, man, he says, I'm getting cautiously optimistic. When I look at the temps for the next week or so and I see it's not going to get above freezing, it's going to be cold every night. He says, those are ice making temps. We'll see. Not being an ice fisherman anymore, I don't really have a dog in that fight, except to say that I know that a lot of people depend on ice and would like to see some ice for an ice fishing season this year. Speaking of seasons, again, as you're listening to this show, either it is the last day of the traditional firearm deer season here in Michigan, or yesterday was the last day of the firearm deer season. What does that mean now? Not as much as it used to, right? Because the muzzleloader season is basically a center fire season. And then you've got the late doe season that you can use your center fire rifle out there. Where I am, I can start hunting with my Brenton 350 Legend on November 15th. And I can hunt through, I don't know, 6 weeks, basically. I'd have to look at the calendar to see what it is. And I just might do that. You know, as much as I love bow hunting, as much as I love, and these days it is a crossbow, but as much as I love having a bow in my hand, if I have the opportunity to be out there with a rifle, I think I'll take advantage of it. I was out there a few days ago rifle hunting with my grandson Trent. I love hunting with Trent. I love hunting with my family. That's one of the reasons I got back into deer hunting, is to enjoy that family connection, that history and tradition of deer hunting in my family. So Trent and I went out. It was only Trent and I, because my son James and my granddaughter Addison were down in Illinois. Now, I will say, while she was in Illinois, she shot a monster the first morning out there in the stand. I don't know if they were in the blind or in a tree stand. I think they were in a blind. Just an absolute monster buck. She's on a roll. She shot 2 bucks this year. A nice 8-point at our lease property, and then a beautiful big buck down in Illinois. So congrats, Addie. But while they were in Illinois, Trent and I said, we're going to go hunting here in Michigan. And we did. Both of us were out there trying to shoot a buck. Trent says, look at Grandpa, if I get the chance, I'm going to shoot a doe. He says, I bought a doe tag. I got a doe tag in my pocket. And he said, if I get a chance, I'm going to shoot a doe tonight. Well, I'm thinking, you know what? If Trent's going to shoot a doe tonight, I've already shot one doe, but if I get a chance, I will shoot a doe tonight as well, so we can double up. Wouldn't that be cool to say I was out there with my grandson Trent and we both shot a doe? And we had pictures of it and stories to tell. Wouldn't that be cool? So I was basically doe hunting as well. I was on a doe hunt. Trent's in a blind, maybe 300 yards from me. That's just a guess. About an hour before dark. And I haven't seen anything, right? Nothing. I haven't seen a buck. I haven't seen a doe. I haven't seen a nothing. But as I told you last week, it really didn't matter this year. The fact that I was just healthy enough to be out there, to be in a blind, that was my reward. And I sincerely, I mean that. But I really wanted Trent to shoot something on this night. About an hour before dark, I haven't seen a thing. I hear, whoom. He was hunting with a 400. Is it a Legend or is it a Bushmaster? He was hunting with a 400. I hear him shoot. Right away, I texted him and said, dead deer, buck or doe. And he said, I just shot a big doe. Excellent. So we both continued to hunt until dark, because I did want to shoot a big doe as well. And he's thinking, look, if a buck wanders in, I'm going to shoot a buck too, because he's got the tags in his pocket. DNR wants us to. Why not? Well, he never got a chance at a buck. But at dark, I took the quad over, because at that point, I was still a little uneasy walking in the woods, especially after dark. Just to be extra careful, I took the quad out. So I ran the quad over to where he was, and we started looking for his deer. And couldn't find it at first. He said, I hit it really, really well. He said, she ran off to the right. We were looking to the right, which was the west. Couldn't find any blood. I'm like, Trent, let's Let's back out of here. We know she's dead, right? It's going to be very cold tonight. Let's back out of here and come back in the morning. We'll find her in the daylight. I know she's right here somewhere. He says, yeah, let's do that. That's a good idea. So as we're walking back to the main trail where the quad is, I've got my headlamp on. I'm looking down, mainly because I don't want to trip over logs or sticks or step in a hole or something. And I see blood. Trent, here's blood. Here's the blood we've been looking forward to. And he looks up from there and he goes, oh, and there's the deer. So I don't want to say we found that deer based on our tracking skills. We just happened to stumble on her. And there she was, big, beautiful doe. So congrats, T-Man. Congrats. It was nice to be there with you to share that experience, to watch you drag that deer. You notice I didn't say to help you drag that deer. Put her on a sled, one of those jet sleds. By the way, if you are a bear hunter or a deer hunter or something that, the critter's pretty big dragging it out of the woods, get one of those jet sleds. They actually make those for ice fishing primarily. Those things are so cool. You put an animal in those, you drag it out of the woods, and it just makes it so much easier. So, and Christmas is coming, so that might be a good gift idea there. What else? I shouldn't say finally. I got my bear back from Michigan Brand Meats. They had it made into brats. I also had to grind a lot of it into burger, but they made some brats up for me. And I say finally, well, the bear's been done for a long time, but I had a little health problem and couldn't drive for a while, so I couldn't get over there to pick it up. So now that I'm healthy, I made it over there to pick it up. Long story short, Michigan Brand does such a great job. So now I've got venison burger. We have venison burger in the freezer. We now have bear burger in the freezer, and we have bear brats in the freezer. I think I'd like to put another dough in the freezer. You never know, right? You never know. Oh, what else? Speaking of Michigan Brand, we are doing our Ham for the Holidays giveaway now on Wednesday Night Live. This is courtesy of the Grillo family. They have been very generous for the last several years now, from Thanksgiving to January 1st. Every Wednesday night on Wednesday Night Live, we do a Ham for the Holidays giveaway. All you have to do is tune in. That's Wednesday night at 7. It's on my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, on Twitter/X, also on LinkedIn. And you can make a comment and maybe you'll win a ham for the holidays. If you don't, go to michiganbrand.net. That's michiganbrand.net. Use the promo code Avery20. Get 20% off on your order. Oh, should I talk about, we're almost at the end of the year now, right? We're basically in December. Should I talk about goals? We'll see. I'm a pretty goal-oriented person. So I like to have goals in front of me. So I have goals at the beginning of the year, and now at the end of the year, I have some goals I want to accomplish. Well, we'll see. But first, I need to talk about who's coming up on this week's show. After the break, Chris Durson of Rapid River Knives, the company that makes this knife right here in my hand, my Rapid River knife. And then Brent Pike from the Michigan Wildlife Council wraps up the first hour. In hour number 2, here's your opportunity to go on a wolf hunt. You can go to White River, Ontario, Canada. You can buy a tag over the counter. Daryl Godden, a friend of mine from White River, will join us. Then Steve Wyndham from MUCC. And in hour number 3, Richard P. Smith, outdoor writer, hunting expert, will be with me in that hour. And then we'll wrap it up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. My name is Mike Avery. This show is called Outdoor Magazine. My website is mikeaveryoutdoors.com, and my email address is mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. I'd love to hear from you. Send me your pictures, your stories, your questions, your comments. mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. All right, my friends, have a good day. I will be back tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday. What is on here? Paul says, you're a shepherd, Mike. You have a lot of followers. The Lord needs you to show them the way. That's pretty grandiose. Don't lay that on me, Paul. When I said I was looking for a reason while I'm here, I didn't mean that important. All right, my friends, happy Thanksgiving to you. Tomorrow, I'm going to now record the rest of the show. And I'll be back here tonight, 7 o'clock, for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Have a good day, my friends.